So this is actually some very clever. Oh yikes! Uh-oh.
I like it. I'll be real. I'm a fan of Earth
Oh, I
Spirit.
love Earth Spirit, but I just don't think he's very good.
Okay.
In general or in this game?
This patch,
Okay.
I'm not a huge fan of Earth Spirit. There's much more stable options, but it does lane with the DP unless they want to be spicy and do Jakiro off lane, which they still could do.
He's been keeping Earth Spirit alive. I know Q's still been playing it on his team.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how he does. Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's a really hit or miss hero. It's either wow, he's doing so well. It's just like there's so much skill that's needed to like make Earth Spirit work compared to like just an easy stun. Most people are picking ranged force like Hoodwink, just throw Bushwhack after Sand stun.
Yeah.
But in this particular game, Earth Spirit has to initiate with his role. There is no other setup stun, and that's when it's like most stressful to play Earth Spirit, and that's how you die. Hero and it becomes not fun, but when you're the initiator. So we'll see how it works out, but I really think they should pick something else to initiate with. Like Earth Spirit role is like not reliable at all.
I do kind of like it though, because if they do crush bot hard enough, I'm assuming DP's like kind of okay to stay there while like Earth Spirit could TP top, and then I feel like Slardar's pretty killable between AM, Jakiro, Earth Spirit.
I want to talk about the Slaughter. You saw that one coming. Their fear. There wasn't actually a question.
Yeah, I did. Alright, that's
you
it.
saw it, yeah, now it's like fear.
He is
so the question's not for you, it's for sheep. Why does it work so well? Yeah. Curveball.
Slardar is just really strong against anti-mage because he doesn't rely on mana. I mean, it's nice to have mana because the crush is good, sprint's nice, but like his passive bash is just something that does obscene amounts of damage. Anti-mage just gets wrecked by it in lane. If you're a melee carry in general, it's like pretty much near impossible to lane against Slardar. He just harasses you out of lane. There's too much damage. You can't sustain against it. So it's like we said though, like Jakiro is a nice support in prep for it. That will make him harder because if he tries to go on anti-mage, you're just gonna get like dual breath. You'll have less attack speed. It won't be that great.
Where do you guys see this DP going?
Probably.
Yeah.
If you ever pick a 4 that's melee, you like to pair it with a ranged offlaner if you can.
So then Neon are looking for a mid laner.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think they need a mid laner that can make some plays in this game.
Do you think Spirit's best here or potentially a Lina?
I mean, will any spirits be left? Like, there's Ember, I guess there's always Void Spirit.
Is Storm still in the pool?
Storm versus Dusa, not my favorite.
I mean, Lina's still in the pool.
I mean, it depends on the route they want to go. Lina's okay, but it's very greedy. And actually, I would hate Lina. They need a stun because they have DP already or Jakiro, of course. I don't know which one's playing off lane. It could be either. And then anti-mage needs some space. Either way, if DP or Jakiro go off lane, they're going to be taking a lot of farm, and they're not going to be making a lot of space. So they for sure need something that goes mid to make space, because this is like when you have anti-mage and you have a Medusa, these type of heroes, they are hard carries, which means there is not a lot of space on the map for you to be greedy.
Yep.
So is there Pango in the game? No, that's banned. Sand King's banned. There's a lot of stuns banned. Let me see what's even left at this point. What could he play?
Anything for you, Sheep, that springs to mind?
I'm thinking there's always a potential for some. Oh no, my Mars is banned. Everything's banned. Oh.
Yeah, I was gonna say Conquer, and then I was like, no, that's
Conquer's
banned.
Alright, let's do it. Here it is. Tusk. Let's do Tusk mid.
Ooh.
Let's roll it out. Kick the Medusa into your team.
Okay.
You just need to like be able to fight until you can.
Yeah, just something active. I think Tusk is pretty cool. They could do Void Spirit. That's like, as we say, the boring option.
Yeah.
But
I never want to hear that word again. Honestly.
it's okay. I mean, it's okay. It's honestly okay. But
yeah.
Tusk, since it's really fun, you can just one-shot Shadow Demon. That has a lot of advantages. Puck, same theory, but I don't think Medusa minds too much getting Dream Coiled.
Do you think Puck just doesn't have the same amount of playmaking ability?
He does. It's just not my favorite option out of the ones I gave.
Yeah. I like what I predicted more, you know. And Polaris' response, what are they needing?
I mean, I think Weaver's going to be 5, and they're going to do Shadow Demon with Slaughter versus the Anti-Mage. Their lanes look pretty good, so it's pretty straightforward. Just counter pick this Puck. They already have some decent stun.
It's gonna be Void.
Could not possibly have been any
Wow.
more boring of a last
That's
phase.
so exciting. Wow, I'm so keen to
could
see
not
that
be-
Void.
oh
That's
my-
insane. That's
All right.
amazing. I'm also so
Taking a nap.
excited to get GoDz
Hype.
and Lyrical in here. Please, at least one of you
Wake
guys
up.
hype up the Void. Please, Lyrical.
Oh my goodness, you are gonna see him go like dataless, and then all this minor armor, he's just gonna bam kill them all. It's gonna be so hype.
The wrong
Please
patch,
believe
I
me.
think.
Thank you. I believe you. That's so hype. I'm so excited. For you GoDz, do you want to do a mic impression and say Anti-Mage is trash, or is there another hero that you're kind of taken surprised by?
It's not just AM, it's first phase AM. This is so trash now. So trash. I hate it. I hate it so much, but I'm so excited for this game.
I am too. For the both of you, do you think this is going to be higher kills, and potentially which team do you think?
It's literally Medusa vs Anti-Mage. Who's killing?
No
Who's
one.
killing?
But I wanted to see what you would say. It's worth asking.
I mean, there could be like a 4v4 bloodbath where they're both farming. You know, you never know.
Eventually, yeah.
So true.
I don't like the lack of stuns on Polaris's lineup though.
Okay. Does that mean you want to say Neon are taking game 1? Game 2?
I don't know what I hate less. I think I like Polaris's more maybe.
And yourself, Fio? No, I'm looking you in. You said Polaris first.
Okay.
Game 2 going
Uh,
which way?
I think Neon will probably take this one. I don't think the Void Spirit is also very bad versus Anti-Mage, so...
Perfect. They're already split on the couch. This means I don't have to say which team I want to go for instead. I'm just going to give it straight to you guys at GoDz and Lyrical for game number 2.
Thank you so much, Nat. You know, they'll never say that we're not honest. I don't know which team I hate less. That's quite a statement there to end it. How about you? I feel like I know what you're feeling. You came back and you're just like, ugh, Anti-Mage.
I don't mind Anti-Mage. I don't think it's I don't think it's trash. I think I don't like about their draft is I don't really feel like they built an AM draft around it. Like it almost felt like they were torn between like, oh, let's play this aggressive Dota. We get Earth Spirit, Death Prophet, you know, pressure towers, play tempo, but then you've got an Anti-Mage. Like often, you know, you want to have these heroes create space, but I just feel like these heroes don't set up AM for success in the game. We'll see. Maybe I can be proven wrong because I do think AM can be a good hero. I just don't know if this is like a good draft around it yet.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, the other thing that we got to keep in mind is this is Polaris's like bread and butter. This is what they sort of rose to prominence on, was a Shadow Demon for Xavius that stacks up that jungle again for Medusa that eventually comes in and kills all the creeps and then eventually kills your whole freaking base. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that they still have 100% win rate on Medusa throughout this DPC at the very least. So double check on that, but they have just looked super solid on this one consistently, and it's gotten banned every other time since.
I believe it. I think it was the Boom series where they won with it game 1, and then Boom's just like, let's just ban this hero. Then every other team's like, oh, Boom do this. That means it's probably the right idea. Let's just copy Boom.
True enough.
You know, I think looking at how Boom beat teams is probably a good approach for a lot of teams in the DPC.
Yeah, definitely. It's you know, why do the work yourself when you can just copy somebody else's ideas?
Yeah. Kids, don't try this at home, please.
Right. Totally. Yeah,
Plagiarism,
I think that's
not
called
okay.
Plagiarism, not great. But in this, it's called doing research, and then it works. But yeah, I'm excited at least to watch the mid matchup because I feel like Void Spirit, he gets a bad rep nowadays. But it's always exciting when there's a Puck in a game, right? Puck can do some crazy things, start jumping in and out of fights, and we'll see if Avatar Mode can make some stuff happen.
And Puck and the Spirits have like, you know, this kind of fun, interesting relationship where, you know, they counter each other. Like the Puck and Void Spirit like both have tools to stop the elusiveness that each other brings to the table. Top lane, Weaver's been hit by the roll. He could be in some trouble here.
Davis punches, and Ryu finding first blood. That is a great way to start for Neon.
Yeah, this is the lane they need to go well. I think Earth Spirit and Death Prophet, Death Prophet loves playing with these like melee 4s that can initiate for her, these Monkey Kings, Earth Spirits, and they can win this lane and potentially force Medusa to jungle earlier than she would like. That would be huge for their game.
Right, and that's something that's worth talking about, right? Like, specifically Neon gave up the Medusa in order to get the Death Prophet based upon how those bans worked out. And this is a hero that's pretty consistently been banned out first phase every other time. So if this lane doesn't go well, then, you know, you basically have just given them this other hero for no reason. So really a good start already up top there to hit that roll and then go on in for the kill. And now Natsumi also down low, might end up dropping a couple more punches, but it's not quite there. 13 HP. Ooh. And down bottom, ooh, that's where they find the kill in a force.
Bottom lane wasn't going great, but to find the kill is really nice, because up until that point, I feel like, I mean, Sarda wasn't farming well, but neither's AM. They're just kind of trading blows and harassing constantly, and in the end, the end result is like no one's farming down bottom. You can see that AM and Sarda CS both pretty low, although AM now with its dead Stardust managed to get a couple.
Oh, good dodge there. Does he get hit by the third? Just barely able to get away again. Abang doing some good dodging of that Shadow Poison. But yeah,
Abang's like not wanting to salve himself. He's saving for the AM.
Right,
He's like,
exactly.
This salve is not mine.
He knows the place. This is, you know, if you're playing position 5, you know what's going on. If you're playing position 5 with an anti-mage, you're definitely not getting anything.
You'd rather die than use the salve on yourself.
Right. We have been seeing some kind of cool stuff down there with Xavius constantly imprisoning the AM to drain all his mana, but still not a huge comeback. Getting fairly low down bottom, so I think probably going to want to pop that salve pretty soon for AM. We'll have to keep our eyes on it, and there it is.
Yeah, I used to play a lot of support, and I would love playing Shadow Demon to AM, because you feel like you can never blink on Shadow Demon. Like, if you blink in... Oh, they've got the Jakiro a bit out of position there. Abang in some trouble, but... Yeah, the thing is, like, you have to be able to blink away if you get disrupted. Otherwise, you burn all your own mana. You combine it with, like, a Demonic Purge, and it's just brutal. So it can be a pretty annoying hero for AM to play into.
It does have the nice counterplay, at least nowadays, with the counter spell, but even still, like, it's not the easiest thing in the world there to play into Xavius, particularly if he has like a Ghost Scepter or something later on, which position 4 might be able to. So far, no movement over by Radiant to go and disrupt those stacks, and you're seeing Polaris aren't even moving in to try and steal them yet.
Why AM skip his ding there, but yeah, this top lane continues to do pretty well here, although Medusa is kind of stabilized, getting some farm. Has all her early Agi slippers and Band of Elven skin to just give her better last hitting against a pretty tricky lane.
Well, and yeah, the lane is pushing into Radiant pretty hard for Natsumi here. Yeah. So they're going to miss out on some amount of farm, it looks like, as yeah, all these ones pushing into the tower here, and Ryu's going to be perfectly happy to get that.
Yeah, he wants the wave to stay here, so he's trying to drag it off the tower. And then the Earth Spirit's job is to kind of try and stop these pulls. Unfortunately, easier said than done. And he just managed to get the pull off, so... You know, Medusa doesn't like this lane being pushed out so far.
Right. Down bottom, more battles going on. Asta taking a bunch of punches. One more hits the bash. And does find the range. In trouble down low, but gets the blink away just barely. And Xavius, in the meantime, forces friend hidden off in the woods. And salves up afterwards, but the salve broken. Crush, couple more punches. Abang maybe can do it. Oh, but the disruption on himself to try and stay alive. And they can't find the real one. Asta eventually gets... Oh, no! It goes down! Oh, force, that big old bash came through and takes down the AM. Tragic, and he gets a double kill. What a start.
The AM's probably like, how does he have a bash already? Like, the last hit was a bash on me, but he'd been hitting the Jakiro some, so he had it ready to go. That's so good for Force. And I mean, every time I look at this AM's laying down bottom, the big thing that they're really struggling is Asa, he just hasn't been able to farm up this Ring of Health. This Ring of Health is coming way too late for him. He got these early aggression items, like the Orb of Venom is nice, the Wand and Wraith Band, it's like these are nice items, but having like no health regen, he's entirely reliant on his Jakiro just constantly salving.
Roll back here on Natsumi. They will not be quite as lucky getting the aggro onto the position 1 of Polaris. And yeah, I mean, there's been a couple of nerfs recently that have happened with Anti-Mage in terms of his like stats specifically towards the early side of the game. So a little bit weaker hero than maybe you would have anticipated. I was looking at the damage numbers that Force did 1,200 over the course of just right-clicking in a couple crushes. I mean, this is why the panel was talking about how strong this hero is in lane. It's putting in work.
Yep. Back when AM was more meta, Slaughter was always kind of considered the counter. At least when it comes, I mean, for all phases, the laning stage is great with the bash. Even before you have this the new bash that you can prime with your attacks, it was always good because also your corrosive haze, formerly amplified damage, is also really good against AM because this hero doesn't like playing into physical damage.
And they've got a whole heck of a lot of physical damage online with Weaver being played by Mavis. This is going to be a very scary mid-game if he ever does get caught out. Now, the plus side, obviously, is that it's pretty tough to catch an AM, but if they just start running down towers around that Medusa timing like we've talked about, this could be pretty rough, but they do rotate. Dream Coil used, still standing. Force takes the magic damage, though, and it's going to be enough. Abeng able to get the last punch and has to find a little bit of time for himself here.
Yeah. Nice TP rotation. Like, at some point, they have to address this bottom lane. AM can't lane against Slardar by himself or even with just the Jakiro. So if Slardar pushes up, we're probably gonna see a bit more of that. Where the only way AM farms this lane is with that TP threat from a Puck or someone else. Like Death Prophet can't really TP and secure kills because you don't have a stun. The Dream Coil gets the job done. And the big thing is here is AM doesn't want to go to the jungle. This hero is not an efficient jungle farmer, unlike a hero like Medusa, let's say. So AM really needs this laning stage to be prolonged. Like, you don't want the lanes to fall apart just yet.
No, it is quite bad. And I mean, the other thing is we're already seeing the stacks get built up. Force now building up the bashes. He hits it there. Now the crush, a couple more hits with that corrosive haze. Will it be enough damage? Bang, just drops, and Force now turned upon by Asta. Roll through. Jing wanted to make the rotation, and that's enough for the kill. So a solid move coming from the Earth Spirit.
Yeah, this is really good for Neon Esports. This is what they want. Like, AM to have a lane. Again, he doesn't want to go jungle, so what's stopping him from laning is the Slardar. So killing this Slardar is the best hero they can be killing. Like, they'd rather be killing Slardar than pressuring Natsumi's jungle right now. Like, they're okay giving Natsumi free farm to stack his jungle, do, you know, Polaris, Medusa things, as long as Asta is also getting some farm and having a good time. So I think we'll keep seeing these moves. We'll probably, you know, if Slardar comes back bottom, maybe, you know, Puck's already brought himself a new TP. He's ready to go again to keep securing Asta's lane.
Look at this, though. What happens when they just steal the lane away from you? Force is just farming behind the tower, and they don't get a creep wave. That is super annoying for Asta. So he's going to head off to the jungle, but the wraparound coming up top. They're trying to find Mavis here. Sakuchi. Just barely out of range, but Jing spots him, and now should be able to find the easy kill, and then immediately Neon moving in to take the top tier 1.
Yep. They make their intentions very clear with the Exorcism, but it's go time. Just throw an Exorcism, get this tier 1 mid tower, the top tower out of the way, but mid will be the big one. Probably next Exorcism, they're going to be looking to swing some heroes mid. Problem is, they show these heroes top. Asta is very exposed, so now we're kind of reaching that point where he shouldn't be able to farm bottom lane. If anything, he also should be getting pressured in the jungle. So I think this is where you'd like to see the supports, the Slardar, just like chase this AM around and give him a rough time.
Well, and on the other side, Polaris, Natsumi knows where he needs to be. Farming this triangle already. There are a nice collection of stacks on this hard camp, and the scan comes out. Radiant know what's going on, but it's really hard to come and contest that.
I'm not sure they can do anything about it. This feels like one of those games where Medusa's can be ahead of the AM, at least for most of the early to mid game until fights, you know, with AM start breaking out. And this is, I think, for a while, like, people were picking AM a lot against Medusa, but over time, Medusa's just learned to change the item build. You go for this more, like, non-stat build, you go for the Butterfly, you go for Satanic, you know, you go for a BKB if you really want. Like, you don't go the Skadi against AM. And Medusas would beat AMs, like, even somewhat consistently. I don't really feel like it was a AM favored matchup for a period of time.
Yeah. Well, and, I mean, this is certainly just, he had the bash primed, but couldn't get there. Good TP out. And Asta, I mean, it's nice to get away from that one, but currently still a long ways away from the Battle Fury here at almost 11 minutes. And the pressure coming in from Jing wants to come and contest this, or maybe soak some experience and see if Polaris responded. Force Lelouch almost able to connect on him there.
Nice little try. Yeah, Shadow Demon's actually maxing Disruption. I feel like this is not typically how you build Shadow Demon, but playing against Anti-Mage, those illusions can cripple him. And also buffing up your, you know, Medusa illusions can be pretty strong as well. So I like the deviation and skill build we're seeing from Xavius.
Mavis spots the AM. They also realize that he's in the area. This Ob's ward placed down And now a smoke up coming. Abeng, Jing moving together. Avatar mode and Enryu. They're pressuring towards mid here, but Natsumi is going to pull this creep wave past, and that sets up a little bit harder of a go on, although they're just going to pop the Exo now and go for the tier 1.
Just death profit things, hide in the trees, heal up, go back in, but there is, the TP risk here. Xavius and Shadow Demon. He tanks too much.
Oh,
they have a nice
careful.
ward. Yeah,
oh, and the blink reveal! Force, they got him! They popped the Shadow Demon ulti onto Enryu. He's in trouble, but Force going to go down first. No, he won't. Gets the full combo out, and now Jing also caught and in trouble. Try and take Polaris' tier 1 tower. See what happens.
It's same story as last game. You can take, our safe lane tower, it's all yours. We don't care. You come for our mid tower, that allows you to then, invade our triangle easier, invade, our side of the map. No way. We're not giving that one up. And that's one of the things I think Polaris play really well around Medusa's hero, because they always bring Natsumi to defend these towers. Medusa's like the perfect hero in many ways to defend tier 1s early on. She's tanky once she's like, has even just 1 point in the mana shield. Mystic State clears waves, and you've got Stonegate. So if they go Medusa, even if she dies, like, you're going to get team wiped in the process.
And, I mean, again, it feels like this moment where Neon, I mean, they want to be playing at least somewhat aggro, but a 3,000 gold lead now without really that much change in kills. I mean, that does start to feel like probably it changes once Asta gets this Battle Fury, but he's still a little ways away from it.
It's really not super close, and that's most of that gold difference. Like, AM's at 5k net worth to the Medusa's almost 7k net worth, so big gold discrepancy there. And the Void Spirit's now got a Yule Scepter, so this Puck's game is about to get very difficult, because this is the item that Void Spirit needs to basically counter the Puck. Anytime Puck is, showing, if you get caught by the Yules, there's that kill threat.
Take down the tower.
How big TP's in, but this tower's already lost.
Force off to the side. They get the disruption now, looking for the catch, and well, all his mana's gone. Asta can't fight, has to jump away, and they bring 3 heroes, force the rotation of 4. Nothing got, nothing gained.
Yeah, and Max Blink, suddenly the playing against the SD gets a bit easier with this maxed out Blink, and may even go for that Blink talent at level 10. But Polaris aren't done. They're going back in, and with the Blink Slardar, they can maybe kill this anti-mage. Shadow Demon coming as well.
Yeah, he's got ready on those bashes. Asta there, and now a counter smoke play coming from Neon. They're going to pass right by each other, so they're trying to find Natsumi in the woods, but Asta caught. He just blinked. He's under control. Do they have enough for the kill? Bashed again. The disruption. Abeng. Lelouch just runs into all of them. They find them for the taunt and going to get that kill. Now can they get out? They popped Exo for this one. Enryu tries to go in for the full combo, and Force is likely to drop here. Can they kill him off? They will. But you take that trade every time. And that's Exo used too.
Yeah, it's one of those things we saw a bit in the last game where it's like it just didn't really feel like Obi Neon were ever making plays that led to objectives. And again, it's like an exorcism used in your own jungle. If it's in the enemy jungle near their side of the map, maybe you're following up with a tier 1 mid tower.
No.
Good
Nice play there.
Yeah.
Able to catch that one. And now maybe they've gone a little bit too far. Can they find this kill on the Lelouch? Looking for the finish, and they get him. Natsumi in the midst of all of them. He's already popped the ulti. Avatar mode taking a lot of right clicks. This Medusa's clinking away at him pretty hard, but they don't have enough follow-up. Mavis follows in on the backside, has an urn charge, throws it on to Abeng, looking for the kill, and now the banish into the sun. Enryu run on again. Can they have enough to kill him? And they will. Neon lose 3 and also likely to go down their tower.
It's like so much a similar story to last game where Polaris just suddenly, they're ready to go. They bring 5 mid. They're constantly defending their tower, and then when they're ready to fight you, they will do so and take your mid tier 1 tower. Like Medusa here are not known for like her early fighting, but at this point, like the levels is a big thing for Medusa. So max up mana shield, Dragonlance, Yasha, like treads. That's all she's got, and she's ready to fight now. So Obi Neon just weren't ready for it and just kind of got ran over there. You had Mavis diving tier 2 towers, almost killing a Puck. Like just hyper aggression from Polaris at the perfect time.
Right. And they've constantly, it feels like, also gotten these runes for the Void Spirit. And now another Arcane rune. He's trying to get in towards the Aghanim Scepter. I feel like this game, again, I mean, it's just so tough, right? Like Asta's game plan is just still keep on farming, and he's still not at that battle period. Even when he gets it, it's not like they're going to be able to fight. Abang now throws out the macro pyre. Will catch on to Mavis, but he too is going to go down. Polaris just not stopping.
Yeah, I just feel like this AM is going to be forced to just keep on farming. And yeah, Medusa wants to kind of keep farming, but she's doing it while contributing. Like that mid tier 1 tower fight and push, she was a big part of. She was pressuring bottom, like pushing out the wave to the tier 2 tower. So she's not just passively farming the triangle, I say, as she does just that, but overall she's trying to apply pressure on the map.
Well, and more importantly, they're finding kills elsewhere. Almost bringing down Avatar mode. Will it be enough? Has the urn charge on him and dropping lower and lower, and eventually, phase shift trying to survive. They have the Shadow
poison.
Demon stacks. The poison is going to come out. Oh, he's not going to be able to. No, it was 1 second away on the phase shift.
It was one of those things like Xavius could have like timed the release or like tried to, but he didn't even realize, I think, he had the kill. It just wore off. Like, if anything, he should have tried to time the release, but luckily the phase shift was like half a second off, and Death Brother top could be in some trouble here.
Turned upon again. They got her. Caught, killed. 6,000 gold lead. And Polaris doing it all. Oh no, and they see another stack. Natsumi's coming for it. This feels so bad for the anti-mage. He just got his Battle Fury. Come on.
Yeah. But Natsumi is like, to me, maybe the best Medusa player in SEA. The way he almost like makes the hero feel like an aggressive hero. Like 15 minutes in, he was a big part of that mid push. He's farming the enemy ancients. Just doesn't feel like he's the passive farmer that so many other Medusa players are. Like, there's a reason why Polaris get Medusa first phase banned, whereas other teams who first phase pick Medusa don't make the hero look as good. But the hero overall hasn't been that successful for other teams.
Yeah, and I guess, I mean, this is just a really like interesting way to play it too, with the Shadow Demon and like spamming out the waves, you know, maxing out the disruption. Obviously good against AM, but also really good playing with Medusa. Even if she dies, you're going to have some pretty good right clickers in there. And Neon, again, making the move, trying to take this mid-tier 1. They're anticipating somebody react for this, but it is, in fact, just a Roche that's being taken instead. So he's not going to be able to get the tier 1 tower. I'm not quite sure. It doesn't look like it.
Yeah. You probably don't really want to commit to it. Puck's going to find a courier, but I think at this point, they're just going to be playing keep away and split push Dota. Like Asta in the enemy ancients, it's going to be a lot of, you know, Puck and AM are two very good split pushing heroes. The problem is Void Spirit with a Yule Scepter is a great hero to catch and punish heroes like Avatar mode on Puck.
I mean, this is not exactly easy for Asta to keep on farming these ancients either. Like, he's getting brought down fairly low doing it. And obviously Battle Fury, he's going to get the regen, but it's a tough one. And the bigger thing is Polaris can just make these moves now. And they're just going to start to shut down the map even more, trying to take the top tier 1 tower and maybe just keep that pressure going afterwards. We'll see.
Neon doing the best they can. They're making sure they still get far mid. They actually snipe that mid tier 1 tower, but Avatar mode keeps like double nuking the mid wave while not getting caught. I think Polaris, if this keeps on happening, we're going to have to, you know, try come up with some ways to try and punish this Puck. Like, Avatar mode doesn't have any defensive items. But opening Neon, they're set up. They want to defend this top lane.
Interesting.
Just on Natsumi, it's a tricky hold, but it's definitely one, if they're set up, they can make.
Disrupting to create more of these Medusa illusions. The roll in, it connects, the kickback. Does have ulti, but doesn't get it off. Keeping himself alive for the moment, trying to walk away. And will lose the Aegis here most likely. So Natsumi goes down once. Can they do it again? And Ryu?
He does not let her get Stone Gaze off.
Oh, the bash is there and in trouble now. The silence out, another round of it. And they have the coil, but Polaris, they stand tall. They're not afraid. Stone Gaze came out. They are not getting that kill for now.
Yeah, the rest of Polaris did a good job of covering the Medusa respawn. Like, there was a definite danger that she gets, like, stunned out of Aegis and just chain stun down, but they covered her well. Unless AM shows up at the same time, you don't want AM to show up. You're just trying to use the space for him to catch up and keep farming. They weren't killing Medusa a second time.
No, and they're going to now give up this tier 2 tower after putting a little bit of spam out there. But like you said, you know, Asta, he's getting his farm on, trying to get into Sanjin Yasha, actually. And can they find an opening here? He blinks to the side. Force is hunting also. He's a little ways away, and Asta might be able to get out here. It looks like they won't find him.
Yeah, Sanjin Yasha and Halberd queued up. of an unconventional AM build if he does end up going for these items. I feel like the Manta is just so good on AM. I'd be surprised if he doesn't get it. But for now, yeah, he's indicating. Okay, there you see, he's back to the Manta, but he's being caught. Blink stun. Any follow up for this one? Nope. Shadow Demon a little bit too far away for any kind of a disruption play.
Yeah, I mean, especially with like the Aghanims coming out on Void Spirit and Force, you know, having the corrosive haze, it's pretty hard to not go Manta. But
I was being nice. I was honestly, if he didn't go Manta, I was gonna flame the hell out of him. So I'm glad he went Manta. It just felt like one of those like, but what if I get this item? This really sick thing's gonna happen. But then it's like, it's Manta.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah, you gotta get the Manta, surely.
Yeah. There's no world where getting something other than Manta is a good idea here.
I mean, it also feels like it might not be there quite in time for what they need to do. Another smoke up coming. And Davis catches the creep wave, shows himself. They roll in, Force on the other side, jump in, silence, immediately out. Can they do anything more afterwards? Second round of silence, Earth Spirit in trouble. Xavius, he gets his ulti up on himself. That shard coming in handy. And now Force trying to run away just inside. They're just barely off the mark there. Not able to connect with the ice path. So Jakiro going to go down. 3 kills, 2 to Natsumi, and Enryu just has to run away. And now they catch her as well. Trying to walk out, but the bash is there. A couple more punches. Corrosive Haze amplifying up all of this damage that's coming out. Enryu eventually too going to go down. Does get forced before it ends up falling, but the Death Prophet dead and Polaris still on top.
And this is the problem with just anti-mage drafts in general. Like, any other carry in Dota, they're showing up to that fight. You're diving past the tier 2 tower. Same with that top tier 2 defense. Like, your carry at 20 to 25 minutes in the game is meant to show up to fights, particularly ones underneath your towers, but it's an underfarmed AM who's being kind of counterpicked and playing in all this physical damage. Even the Medusa is just, like, going to destroy this AM if he ever gets hazed up, so... like, these aren't bad fights for OB Neon, but because there's an AM on their team, like, players just know, like, they can take these fights.
Yeah, not a whole lot else that can happen with it. The other thing I'm seeing pretty soon here is Xavius is healing himself up with these demonic purges, the demonic cleanse, I should say, but he's also going for Aghanims pretty soon, and that's such a huge power spike.
Yeah, that's going to be really nice for them.
BKB delivered. Abeng reveals himself. They've got Asa in the area. Natsumi says, come deal with me. Just going to punch away there. Now Avatar mode has to run away. Wants to chase. They're underneath the ward. This is previously where Neon made a pretty big throw, and now it's this time Polaris with vision, and, well, roll in. Tries to find one. Pretty good magnetized. Is there a follow-up? Silence there. On to 2. Nicely done by Lelouch. And they have the macro pyre down, but now Natsumi just going to run in onto both of them. Good coil afterwards. They actually find a kill there onto the Shadow Demon. This is their moment. Natsumi has to run away, at least for now, but Enryu's off to the side, and a pretty big kill from Asta. 2 down. Can they find any more? BKB trying to run, but Lelouch in the area gets the kill onto DP again.
I mean, it's the best you're going to get. You killed 2 supports, but at least it's something. Unfortunately, the puck buyback doesn't feel great. It's just so hard for AM to engage into them when they're, like, grouped as 5. I feel like I'm harping on it a lot, but, like, he stood on the outskirts of the fight waiting for, like, Stone Gaze to wear off and was trying to walk, come in at the end, maybe go next to his Medusa. But he gets clipped by a stone. He's half health before he, like, even enters the fight. And then he pops his Manta and just has to, like, kind of run away. So, just so difficult for him. Medusa with Butterfly plus BKB means she's just not an easy target to go on. We'll see if there's any kind of item that's going to kind of fix his game.
I mean, there's just... The game just feels very difficult no matter what. He is going back for the Halberd afterwards, and that might be a decent way to go with this, right? Like, Halberd, amazing against Medusa if you can get it off before that BKB. And it's just... It needs to be the perfect fight for Polaris.
Yeah, I don't like it that much, but I don't think there's, like, any obvious standout item. It's one of those things where it's like, it'll reduce some of the Medusa's damage output, but make you a bit I think he just feels like he needs to tank up because he's just dying too fast in these fights, so that the Halberd will at least get the job done there.
Yeah. Gotta find something.
Got a nice ward behind this tower. Polaris really want to try to find a jump or a catch. Especially this puck would be a great find for them.
They're just for the moment.
Your
Can't quite
positioning's
get him, though.
really good on Polaris. Like having Natsumi play on the bottom side near the ward.
Oh, Aston just popped Manta. Oh, he goes on the wrong AM though. And
Nice
wants the
little
hunt in the area. Yule Scepter lift up. They got him caught. Forces in the area. And Asta likely to go down there. They break in trees, and there it is. The bash followed up with the corrosive haze. Tries to blink out. Any extra follow-up here?
Yeah, he might still live here. Doesn't have a TP, but
Mavis is hunted. They roll in. They find him. And
he supports
now...
me guy now.
yeah. Abang goes down.
Save
But
Mr.
they
President.
save their AM.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not quite enough damage there, but it's one of those things where AM is getting harder and harder to kill, but I just feel like there's still no threat of him dealing damage just yet. Like, this Halberd is going to make it... No, he's fully bolted out. Again, I don't think it's the worst time pickup. It's like, he can take two approaches. Let's go the items that allow me to kill them better or to stay alive. And, you know, he's just thinking, if I stay alive, I can burn more mana. I can turn this Medusa into this perfect mana void target, particularly because you went BKB. So, you know, when your enemies have BKB, a lot of the approach to a team fight is trying to outlast them, turn it into, you know, you can't win a quick fight against BKBs. You need to drag it out, kite the BKBs, and that's where this Halberd will give him survivability and the ability to, when BKB wears off, mana void Medusa and, you know, dream case scenario, kill a bunch of people.
Yeah, and I mean, you're kind of all in because I think that in a way, like if you don't end up, oh, good catch here. This is going to be a nice kill for them, finding Xavius. But I mean, I don't know if there is an item that he can do that actually does damage. Enough of it anyways. Like MKB feels terrible also, so we'll see. Gotta hold out.
I don't think there's any obvious item from here. Maybe Scotty next would be what stands out to me. Is the again, it's more defensive survivability, but I think the slow against Medusa is kind of nice. But
Yeah.
at some point, like the physical damage is going to hurt him. But again, maybe Scotty with some extra armor can help a little. There you go. Yeah, he does screw up Scotty.
I mean, it's an amazing item against Medusa, decreasing that attack speed too. You know, working really well against those ranged heroes. So, you know, there's you got to find something. That's the key. And it's 12k gold into the lead of Polaris. It's going to be a relatively quick respawn on this Roche, it looks like. So, not that far away from that one being completed. And Neon, do they have the items that they need to at least try and defend Roche? We'll have to see.
This is a scary one because it's where Medusa with Daedalus Aegis will just barrel down the lane, but they are in the neighborhood. Neon want to defend and contest this one. And Mage will have to find somewhere to TP into. Yeah, let's say he's got no like tier 1, tier 2 towers, so he's going to have to TP early. But he is joining up with his team.
They just take out the Observer Ward also with those illusions, so nice play there. They spot her. Okay, Ice Path down. They got the bugs onto Roche. Natsumi has to be careful here. Roche is getting very low. 2,000 HP left on it now. Can they just go all in?
Natsumi's mana pool is like pretty low. He's only a third mana. He doesn't really want to force his fight. He buys triple mango just to, you know, try and juice himself back up.
They just got Xavius Aghanims as well. Jumps in, wants to find it. That's the ulti immediately dropped on down, but it's a great combo. And they're able to snatch it though. Force takes away the Aegis. And now Jing left doing not nearly enough. AM in the midst of all of it gets blown up. Lelouch will die, but a huge combo out there.
Oh, he was so close to getting off. Like, if they got the Aegis there on their side and hit that mana void, if that mana void just did a little more damage, maybe they kill Medusa. Having that cheese was just so nice.
The Aghanims that came out there at the end from the Weaver.
That was Weaver, not the cheese, sorry.
That was a huge play. I mean, and he just got it right before the fight, which is wild. They got Aghanims on Shadow Demon and on Weaver. Unreal.
Very nice, very nice.
Damn, dude. Well, the game does feel hard, but it's on force at least for the Aegis.
Yeah, you've got this, you know, Medusa you can maybe try and force a fight on. They need that, like, Earth Spirit kick in the base kind of play, but problem is there's this disruption just sitting behind Natsumi. He's also got the Demonic Purge, which you can use on Medusa as well. Such a hard hero to go on.
So what you're telling me is they need that the Tusk in the game. Jing, he's dead.
Yeah.
Didn't get a chance. Good disruption timing from Xavius. Works out perfectly. Gives him the tip. Good
He was
stuff.
rolling as disrupt. Like this, it looked really dumb, but like literally his roll started casting as Xavier's used disruption. Like just he was just trying to make some illusions and then the rolling through. Oh boy. But yeah, I think this Medusa now with Weaver, Ags, and a Ags Shadow Demon with Shard sitting behind her just becomes like unkillable. Like you need to kick her into your base, but even then, like, can you actually kill her in that scenario?
Right. Yeah, they need. I mean, and on top of that, like this, 46% evasion with the Elven Tunic. It's like, how do you even get through that as the anti-mage to even try and burn her mana?
Yeah. I don't know. Like that's the thing. He's probably thinking like, do I go MKB now? But he's going to be so squishy. Like we saw it last fight. He just melts once they get a stun on him.
He needs one of his teammates to build a Bloodthorn, but jumping behind the tower. Oh no, Hunter-Yu just going to get caught and pummeled. God-like Natsumi Medusa. You gotta ban this hero against Polaris. They're showing again why it's so strong. Is on the other side. Jing also going to go down. Lelouch giving him the tip. And feeling very good about themselves right now. And Asta just looking for an opening. A double buyback. They want to open this up, but Avatar Mode, he's caught also, and immediately the Aeon just purged off of him. Oh no. Didn't get a chance to cast anything.
A great way to bring their draft together with this Void Spirit pick. Gave them an answer to the puck, and it's just a well put together draft with Polaris. Like they're so good at executing on these Medusa games and drafting around Medusa. And I feel like that's something that AM just didn't really have. Like that draft that really sets him up to succeed. He had a rough lane against the Slardart. The supports are kind of annoying to deal with. Like Weaver's just elusive. There's, outside of Medusa, like AM is not particularly good against a lot of these heroes. Like okay versus Void Spirit, but we'll see if they can hold. AM's
another
going in.
miss. Can't quite connect. Asta getting bashed by Force, already dead on one. Jakiro buys back. Lelouch on top of one, but now AM's just completely out of the fight, and they're going to let him go. Focus back onto the buildings here. Natsumi gets caught for a moment, and then disruption as the kill was going out. Vegas down low, gets time-lapse back in. There are no more buybacks left. It is GG. Polaris going to end this one 2-0.
Very convincing 2-0. This is the Polaris, it's gameplay-wise and just the fact that, the way they won this game so convincingly. This is what we saw at the start of the season. Like, their execution on some of these greedier drafts of theirs is just so flawless. I think what really stands out as most impressive is just how good they are at keeping their mid-tier 1 tower up specifically. They never overcommit, like, resources to defend their safe lane. At some point, they just say, okay, our carry's going to go jungle, farm it up, and we're going to give up that tower. But as soon as the enemy come for their mid-tier 1 tower, they bring their entire team to defend it.
Yeah, it's really cool to see like the single-mindedness of a whole team knowing what they need to do and just like, all right, we're gonna gather around Natsumi. Natsumi will carry us. It's been a trademark for this team since before this season, and it's still working now. But an impressive showing, and it opens up some questions with that win of what the rest of the CDPC could look like. Are we going to get forced into some tiebreakers? I think I saw you doing like some crazy math earlier. I don't know if we need to go into it right now, but how many potential scenarios are there available roughly?
Quite a few. I think the big one for Polaris, they're 4-3. They're hoping Fnatic beats T1 because that brings T1 down, and then basically Polaris needs either Boom or T1 to go 4-3 as well. So most likely of those to go 4-3 is probably T1. So Polaris gets to sit back. They've done their job, which is win. The only way they can get to the major, though, is going to be with some help. So they're hoping specifically Fnatic can help them out.
All right, we'll see if Fnatic can give them a little bit of help. For now, at least, we're going to go a quick break. When we get back, the panel's going to break down all that action. We'll see you then.
Winning game 2 and this series means that they do keep the dream of potentially going to the major alive for themselves. And in this game number 2, there are a few heroes, maybe questionable picks, especially that AM in the first phase, I would say has to be the biggest questionable pick coming out from maybe any team this tour.
Wow, that's a
more or less than
call.
the Necro first phase.
I mean, the Necro at least kind of did something,
I mean,
right?
they won, right? I think.
Oh, last game? No, they didn't. They lost.
No. When Cuckoo first phase through.
Oh, yeah, I
Necro
mean,
first.
T1 has made it work. But anyway,
Alright,
about
it
the
doesn't matter.
anti-mage.
Anyway, this anime.
Sorry.
I think the anti-mage this game was like there's just so many ways they could have countered it.
Mhm.
And it's made it really hard. It's a good carry matchup, but it has to have a good lane, and it somewhat did have a better lane than I expected. But that was partly just because the Jakiro was so good versus the Slardar. However, like, there's some key things that just went really wrong for the Anti-Mage, and he died, and after that, they couldn't find any space on the map, and so he just farmed while his team just kind of fed, so ended up like looking like a classic Anti-Mage game. He's all farming while the team's fighting. I remember the fight on like the tier 2 top where like they took some fight into the Aegis Medusa, and this Anti-Mage just farming a small camp on the other side of the map. It's like, it's just weird communication from the team.
Yeah, okay, so maybe just not the Neon that we're used to draft-wise and playstyle-wise, but Polaris, again, I'm going to ask that question for you guys. You weren't super confident in their mid to late game, but what sort of plays were really a strength or a strong point for them for this game and series?
Polaris in this game were really strong with their, like, I would say I thought they were going to just chill while their Medusa farmed, but like they actually were extremely active just in general. They made a lot of plays like into the jungle to chase down Anti-Mage and stop him from farming. Like he died a couple times. They were just harassing him and not letting him just free farm. They brought Medusa to a bunch of fights. Like she incorporated like involving herself into her farming patterns, which was amazing. She would show up to mid to defend the mid tower. She would show up to bot to fight there. Like she would just be farming in the area and come there. And it's like that is how you win these types of games. You're not just leaving it up to chance of like who executes better in the late game. They set themselves up for a really good game early by getting Medusa so involved.
Yeah, 100%. And Fear, I feel like there was one other person you wanted to talk about in this game that maybe didn't really live up to expectations on Neon.
Yeah, I think Avatar mode this series was not as impactful as he needed to be to bring the series home. I think on the other end, Lelouch like was also playing an active style mid, but just like his rotations and everything they connected. Where Avatar mode just he didn't get that many connections, unfortunately, in both these games of like finding the pickoffs on the map.
Who would be a standout player for you guys from Polaris in this series?
I really liked Xavier's. I thought his call was. I mean, like I praised his call up and down last game for, you know, protecting the mid tower, stacking the camps, just doing like his job really well. I think this game I liked his skill build on Shadow Demon. He made Anti-Mage's life really hard. Just did some clutch stuff, good purges.
For me, I think Natsumi played really well this series. Like, it's pretty like easy to like give. It's hard for me to usually to give like the carry the MVP because they're usually just kind of farming. But both games, he just kind of showed up, had a rough lane, and had a great item build, and was very like active, I guess, in the mid game. So he played really well as a carry.
I know Neon do have one last series that they have to play. In your eyes, what's maybe the biggest thing that they have to work on when they go into this last series? Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot. You have to practically be another coach for them.
Pretty simple for me. I think Avatar mode needs to like be more active, and I also think they need to pick less greedy carries. I think just in general, this team just got stomped 2 games in a row, 20-minute games, and it's because they're picking TBs. It's because they're picking, you know, like these hard carries, right? And it's just not really working out for them because their mid player isn't making that type of space for this to work. So they need to change it up and maybe like get the carry a little more active, maybe a little more greedy on the mid lane. Just find a way to get through the early game for me.
Yeah, because these are drafts that they like. They have a history of picking greedy carries. It's just, I think,
just not working.
Yeah, they definitely look the best on like the TA style tempos when like we keep seeing teams banning their Enchantress. They look good on Enchantress when they get these types of lineups. They've looked their strongest.
So that's like the area that they can work on. But for you guys, what was their strongest point?
They don't have much. I mean, they're
that's not what I wanted to hear.
Not that series. I mean, previous series is they've looked great in their early game. Like they won really hard in early against SMG and stuff. Like
a really good point you bring up though. Like normally they're strong laning phase, but we didn't really see it this series.
Sadly, I mean, Polaris were also really good at it. Like Fear said in the pre-panel, I think like maybe adapt the way that like. I don't know, Boom, when they were playing with Tino, they would just give him like raises and stuff and they would do really, really well with that. Maybe that's the type of playstyle you need to enact on Neon. Just throw out the TA Razor type drafts, the tinies. Those go really well for them, I think.
Okay. Well, again, Neon unfortunately didn't win this series. Polaris did, which means we get to have a winner's interview with them. And we are going to be bringing in Xavier. Xavier, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on the win. I want to know what sort of prep work went into this series for you guys.
Just the normal stuff, you know. We just keep watching their replays and just play our game and our heroes.
What do you think was the biggest strength or biggest advantage for you guys in this series, specifically against Neon?
I don't really know, but we just wanna play our game actually.
The whole team wants to be interviewed.
Yeah. So speaking of wanting to play your game, like, what do you think your guys' like biggest strength is as a team right now?
I don't know. For me, I cannot really say about our strengths. Maybe we just know how to play certain heroes that we're really good at. But in terms of weaknesses, I think we're very inconsistent. Maybe that's really a problem for us.
Well, I was curious about in this draft for game 2. Obviously you're up against an anti-mage with 2 heroes without like solid lockdown, and then you opted to still go for a weaver. What was the idea behind that?
We just want to secure our Medusa lane. Actually, with Weaver, I think this hero is a really strong laner. So yeah, I think we just want to secure Medusa's lane, give him a good lane, and we just try to win other lanes as well, and we can have a good game.
I want to know a little bit more about Pugno. We've seen him be picked up a lot more in the past few days. But for you guys on Polaris, why do you enjoy picking him or think that he is such a viable pick?
Against like heroes that are setters, especially the Sand King, you know, he can get cancelled. I mean, his dagger can get cancelled when you cast Epi if there's a ward. So I think it's really good against these kinds of heroes.
Awesome. Well, Xavier, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations again on the series win.
All right, thank you.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
He didn't wave. I can't believe
I know.
it.
Sometimes they comes back last second waves.
Yeah, every time
So
I
go for
look
it.
away, I've got to like trash talk the players, and then they pop back up with the wave. But that is our first series for the day done and dusted. Because it is a 2-0, it means there is going to be a little bit of a wait for the next series. But make sure you guys hang around, because I do believe we have a little bit of a surprise coming up in this break.